Did you know I'm gonna come with it? Come with the 10 minutes. I want you staring into these pretty brown eyes. Hey guys, this is Tiffany Jaye coming to you live. 10 minutes with yours truly. I hope you like the show. Check it out. What's up, everybody? So, I come to you today to do a mini recap, a mini update on where I am as far as in reference to my surgery and things like that and the recovery and how things are going. So, a lot of you all, if you're very, very close to me, about, and it sounds like 150 people are like, are they really all close to you? Well, these are people that I have direct access to them and they have direct access to me as far as contact information, and I reached out to them. I had a scheduled post already ready on my website, and this was the best way that I felt that I could contact a wide range of people that meant a lot to me. Our paths have crossed, whether they were my friends, they were in my dance family, they were my co-workers, at, whether they're current or in the past, church family, my 646 music family, and then my immediate family. So on November the 11th, which was Veterans Day, around maybe 8 or 10 o'clock in the morning, I believe, a lot of people got a text message, or you also got a direct message if I didn't have your phone number. And it had I think it said, thank you for being a part of my support system. And then the link leads you to my website, which explains why I'm appreciating you of being a part of my support system. And then what I was going through that day, probably going through literally at the time that you got the message. And then once you received it, you're like, oh, okay, wow. So this I felt was the best way for me to express, hey, I'm probably going to be not distant, but I'm going to take a seat back and recover during this time. And this is why. But I thank you for, you and everything that you are. So what am I talking about? My name is Tiffany Jaye. I'm an artist, singer, songwriter, dancer, artist, and I also am a professional custom framer, and I work at Michael's. And so February of this year, I was diagnosed with uterine fibroids, finally specifically knowing what, the big bulge in my belly was. And throughout from February up until about October, did a series. I did about 2 ultrasounds, 1 MRI, and then finally, our COVID tests, pre-op appointments, and then boom, November the 11th, the surgery. So, ladies, what I will say, because I want to try to keep it pretty brief and give you different tools as far as what you can do to do some research and feel okay if you're going through the same thing. I was so unaware of how prevalent this particular condition was, just period. The minute that I posted it and then was doing my 42-day positive affirmation, a lot of people hit me up. People that I went to high school with, people that I was in church with, whether they were 2 weeks out from their surgery, 2 months out from their surgery, about to have their surgery, going to have it at the top of the next year. And I was like, okay. So we, everybody had our conversations. We shared pictures, we talked and things like that. So I thank you for all of those things. So going into this process, I'm one that I like to do my research. I looked up on YouTube and just kind of binged watched on a lot of people's personal accounts and testimonies that related to the specific surgery that I was going to have, which was an open myomectomy, which is basically a smaller incision than a C-section. My incision scar is about like maybe 4 inches wide, right above like the pubic hairline. But your underwear definitely covers it. So, it's not too much of an eyesore or anything like that. And then hopefully over time, someone suggested to massage the scar to help let it heal and even out with your skin. So I binged watched a lot of videos on YouTube. One that I was surprised was A. Marie, the singer artist. She had the same thing. And then she also explained about her cesarean that she had when she had her child later. I also watched this other girl who had 70 fibroids. And then I also recently found out after having my surgery that Eve also had the same thing. So it's very prevalent. I was unaware of all of this, but very prevalent. But after watching everyone's videos and just seeing a few things and a lot of similarities, I became very familiar with the process and what was expected to happen to me. So when the doctor was telling me, hey, X, Y, and Z, I was like, yep, 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 yep. So one thing I will state is if you are someone who has anxiety, it is not, it's okay to let the healthcare providers tell them that you have this and then tell them that they just need to take it very slow with you. Things may seem like they're going too fast, and it's okay for you to say, just slow it down. I had a friend of a friend who was supposed to have her surgery this past Monday, and then she opted out just because she didn't realize she wasn't going to be fully sedated, and then kind of freaked out, had an attack, and it was just a lot. So I suggest, we spoke and we calmed her down and everything is fine, but I suggest it is definitely okay, because Marie talks about how she basically had an attack at the hospital and they had to just kind of slow things down for her. So what I did want to have this post mainly be about was my emotions during the surgery, during the recovery period. So I had one particular day where I was kind of like emotionally low. The physical part, like being physically low, is different, but there was a moment where I was emotionally low and I was just like, I don't feel it today. I don't want to do anything. I have all of these things on my to-do list. So I just want to go over that with you really quick, and then I'll continue talking. So this was November 23rd, I think maybe around 2 weeks after. So I wrote emotional funk, and I don't know why. Yeah, there are so many days like today where, not so many. There are a few days like today where I feel terrible and I don't know why. My emotions, it's like this weird funk. I've cooked for the family. I've gone on walks. I drove a few. So for me, in my mind, I'm thinking, okay, I've done all the things that I'm supposed to be doing, being active. I'm up and about, so what's the problem? Then I wrote, today I ate once because I still have extreme bowel pain and I just laid in bed all day because it just kind of hurt to move around. They do say one of the worst pains that you'll have is your gas pain and basically your bowel movements, because they're trying to get back in whack, because they're out of whack. They're trying to get back in sync, basically. So that day I took a nap, and now basically I had woke up and I was like, shoot, it's 5 p.m. It's like the times where you actually wake up at 9 and you're like, yeah, I'm about to have a great day. Then you take that one nap and the day is gone. So like I was saying earlier, I had a to-do list written out and I didn't do any of it. I told myself it's okay during this time to just chill. Mentally, don't worry about anything. You don't have to be anywhere. And yet I don't know why I feel like I should be doing something. I just want to exercise. I want to get back at it. And then I'm like, oh, what if I mess something up? So I just lay in bed. There were some days like that day, November 23rd, just very, very low. Didn't want to be around anybody, nothing like that. Then I thought to myself, okay, I know how to plan. I'm okay. And it's up to me. I watched one of my positive affirmation videos and I meditated on the quote for that day, which was think on things that make you happy. So if you don't know, going into the surgery, I said, all right, what if I need an extra boost for myself? So what I did was 42 days, which is 7 times 6, right? So 7 days of the week, 6 weeks of a recovery. I literally did 42 videos of positive quotes and my instinctual whatever that I basically felt that I wanted to say about them. I used that opportunity to be very vulnerable and be very open and just express how I felt based on the quotes. And so I shared a few things, and they're still going on, as tomorrow, December the 2nd, will be day 22, I believe. So it's still going on. I'm still currently in recovery as we speak. And I'm just, kind of speaking in between it, in the middle of it. So let's continue. So I had watched my positive affirmation video that day and it said, think on things that make you happy. And immediately I said, okay, let me make a list of things that make me happy. So one of them was I wrote music, and then I wrote dash lucky day, and then I wrote food. So the current Lucky Day album, I think that's his only album that he has out. It's called Painted. Right now, that's like my go-to, like my favorite thing to listen to. So I listened to that. And I moved around a bit and kind of got back into a groove, and I felt, a little bit better. For me, music, I don't know what it is, but it basically kind of permeates through your system and then it just kind of uplifts you. So that was November the 23rd, and then November the 28th, here we are. Not today, but November 28th, because today's December the 1st. But November 28th, I wrote, now a few days later, after reading my journal and jogging down my thoughts, I'm like, yeah, that was a bit of a funk. And it's okay to have one every now and then. The difference between me back in 2015 and the me now in 2020 is that I know how to get myself up out of it, or I can choose to stay in it if I want. I, at this point, didn't want to wallow in bad feelings and was desperately looking for a way out. For some people, engagement may be the thing that helps them get out of their funk. They reach out to friends, and the next thing you know, you're on the phone, laughing, meeting up, and having a good time. Knowing that I was limited in that area due to my current condition, I needed another outlet. Also, knowing I was mentally just wasn't up for the task of communicating too much with the outside world, because I was already bombarded from, being at work, communicating with a lot of people, and communicating to kind of do I don't know what the word is called, but not troubleshooting, but letting everybody know, hey, how you doing? All right, I'm doing well, that whole thing. So I did what I usually do best. I wrote down my feelings, which was November 23rd. And then I said something to about 2 people who gave me exactly what I needed to hear and press forward with 2 of my favorite activities, which I stated before, which was music and food. So learning and getting assurance that there's absolutely nothing wrong with me during this time and all of my feelings are valid. That was important. Knowing that everything up to this point is because of the decisions that I have made for myself, good or bad, and all to this amazing point right here, right now. Like, all of my decisions have led up to this moment right here. I can stop and I can celebrate my life, and then I can look in the stillness and I can think on what I want to explore next. So I want to say thank you, Sharita and Antoine, for giving me a bit of guidance during this emotional pitfall, and it helped me get through and put a smile on my face. I know this particular podcast is a little bit longer than usual because it's supposed to be 10 minutes with Tiffany Jaye, but it's a serious topic, and I think I might call this like part 1, emotions during recovery, and then we'll go into more detail later. If anyone has any other questions or comments, you can definitely hit me up, and then I can talk about them throughout the series. And I'm just going to try to bring up different things that basically helped me get through the process, maybe talk about my process and how things went for me. And also know that it's not as detrimental as one may think. It just depends on how severe your situation is. I was able to see a specialist, and he was awesome, like phenomenal and amazing, to remove everything. I had about 15 to 16 fibroids. They collectively weighed about 1.6 pounds. And there was one that was extremely massive. So as small as I am, it was taking up a lot of space in my midsection. And I kid you not, the minute that I came to, like woke up, I could immediately feel like the weight had been lifted. And then I was not freaking out, but I was like, wait, what? Y'all did it already? Like, it was crazy. The anesthesia is insane in the fact that you really have no recollection of anything that happened in between. I went from, we didn't even do a countdown. I went from, they had wheeled me to the back, and I said, okay, this is the moment. This is the moment, Tiffany, that we talked about. This is the moment that we prayed for. You have to relinquish control. Just lay back and let it go. And then I was telling them, you got to be careful with the breathing tube, because I sing and stuff like that. So when we got to the back, they were saying they was giving me some medicine to relax. I said, okay, cool. And I said, well, let me sing y'all this real quick. I was like, what a day this has been. What a rare mood I'm in. Why, it's almost like being in love. Ooh, that was terrible. In love. Much better. So I did that, and they were like, "Oh, that's nice." And I was in my mind, I was like, I can't believe I just did that. Like, what is going on? And then immediately after, the lady was like, okay, we're gonna give you the oxygen. And then she put, the thing over my face. And then I was thinking like, oh, this smells funny. And then boom, that was it. Like, that's all I remember. And then next thing you know, I wake up and it just blows my mind. Like, there's just a blank. You know what I'm saying? Like, as far as in your memory, like, time has passed, but it's just insane. So I'm pretty fascinated with things like that. But yes, here we are today, and I'm so thankful. I'm sorry if I'm rambling, but thank you for sticking with me this long, and thank you for everyone who has given me your support, your love, your care. I really appreciate it, and I'm so glad to be so much better than I ever was. So we'll catch you on the flip side. This was Tiffany Jaye, maybe like 16 minutes with Tiffany Jaye, talking about a slight emotional funk during my recovery period. All right, you guys take care and enjoy your evening. Bye.
That was another edition of 10 Minutes with Tiffany Jaye. I hoped you all enjoyed yourselves, because I know I did. You can find more episodes on my website, www.tjayetaylor.com, and go to podcasts. But don't stop there. Hop on over to the music tab and rock out to your favorite Tiffany Jaye records, starting with my latest single, Work For It. Available for streaming and downloads on all major platforms, with a bomb video showcase on YouTube featuring the Queen City, Charlotte, North Carolina.